The McGee family was on Seeking Sister Wife season 2 and they were extremely controversial. Let's get into it. Bernie and Paige have been together for 16 years. They have 4 kids between them, and they currently live in a trailer due to a house fire. Their house completely, they lost everything, which is so tragic. And right now they are living in a campground and trying to find a house. Not only are they trying to find a house, they're trying to find a sister wife. Now, in the typical fashion, Paige says this was all her idea, that God laid it upon her heart to have her husband go find someone else. They have tried before, and Paige got extremely jealous, and it did not work out. I guess Bernie did not behave the best during that search, and it didn't work. One thing about this couple is that they're going to involve their minor children, the 2 that live with them, way too much. These kids should not know half the stuff. They should not be involved until they have found someone and they are secure with this person, and then involve the children. Just my opinion. Now, they do end up finding a house before they find a sister wife, which is good. Get those kids out of that cramped trailer. I can't imagine homeschooling in a tiny, small space. Bernie is already 2 steps ahead looking online without really, talking to Paige about it. She's annoyed. She's like, dude, you're being too eager. And this man just snaps at her. He gets so irritated by this woman. I can't. They begin chatting with a woman named Brandy. They video chat with her, and Brandy says that it was placed on her heart to join a family. Brandy seems extremely kind, but one thing that Bernie really wants is to have more children, and Brandy is done with that. She already has kids, and she does not want any more, but they do. At one point, Bernie was reaching out to multiple women and talking in an extremely inappropriate way with them. Paige finds this out. Paige is extremely upset, says he's breaking boundaries and all this stuff, and he basically gaslights her and shuts her down. But Paige keeps reminding him how upset she is about the kind of sexual messages that he was sending, and he's literally like, "It's your problem. You have jealousy. It's on you. Sorry." They do decide, however, even though Brandy doesn't want kids, that they want to meet her. Um, they think about adding a third for kids, even though they don't even have Brandy yet. Brandy arrives to this basically stranger's house with her teenage daughter. They're staying at the house. These kids should not be involved. I can't stress that enough. Let alone going to a stranger's house to stay and bringing your teenage daughter. And then, of course, Paige and Bernie's kids are all involved. They start like getting to like this woman. Paige is stressed the whole time. She's afraid that Bernie and Brandy are getting along way too well. They go on a one-on-one date, and the producers end up calling Bernie back and being like, you need to come back because Paige is having an absolute meltdown. She's crashing out. So they go back, and Bernie talks to her, and then Brandy talks to Paige and is like, listen, if you don't, I will walk away. Like, I am not trying to cause issues in your marriage. Brandy just seems really, really nice. I don't know. I like her. And Paige's like, no, go on your date. Go on your date. It's very Danielle Merrifield. Like, she's just going to cry over everything. But during that weekend together, the kids especially, just fall in love with Brandy. They fall in love with their daughter. And after Brandy leaves, the kids kept in touch. Like, they really liked her. But Paige, she's done. She's like, pump the brakes. I don't think I can do this. But Bernie doesn't give a shit. So what does Bernie do? He does the typical narcissistic thing and love bombs her, sets up a nice dinner and candles and all of that to woo her, and then talks and talks and talks about Brandy and that he wants to invite her over again. Bernie pressures the crap out of Paige. He's like, I am not going to stop talking to Brandy. Absolutely not. Paige is completely drained. Brandy comes back for another weekend, just her, not her daughter. And because Bernie's at work, her and Paige spend the day together, and Paige makes it the most hostile feeling environment. She's like folding stuff a certain way, and Brandy's like, what if I don't fold it like that? And Paige is like, then you're gonna learn. She is extremely, like, Brandy is so uncomfortable. Off camera, when Bernie got home, there was a massive fight that happened. Paige and Brandy were going at it, and it just ended very badly. Brandy ends up leaving and is just done. Bernie is pissed. They are pissed. And then they sit down, the kids, and they say, hey, so Brandy's gone, and she's gone for good. And the kids are devastated because now you got them talking to this woman on the phone every day and stuff, and, their hearts are involved, and you just crush them. That's why we're not involving the children until it's a sealed deal. They do say that the next time they try, they won't involve the children. Post show. That was the last we saw of the McGees, and here is where they are now. Bernie did pass away in 2019 from a heart attack and heat stroke. He was only 41. Paige blamed his death partially on her brother for causing stress in their life. And you're probably like, what did her brother do? Well, her brother called Paige out. Paige was in an online forum and making fun and talking absolutely horribly about people with Down syndrome. And her brother called her out and basically just cut ties with her over that. Paige did not take that well. So Paige and Bernie actually ended up stalking her brother. They stalked and harassed him so hard that her brother had them arrested. Both Bernie and Paige went to jail for a little bit, and then he got a permanent restraining order on his sister and Bernie. Paige now keeps to herself, and as for Brandy, she is not in the public eye, and I will respect that. Do you remember this couple? What did you think? I truly hope the best for the kids. I know it's extremely hard to lose their dad, so my heart is definitely with them.